Hello and welcome to episode 1 of the Gameplay Cast's Warhammer 40k Miniatures Challenge. In this video, I'm going to discuss the idea and background to the challenge, as well as introduce you to my first 3 miniatures. About 20 years ago, I was the grand age of 14. I collected a Chaos Space Marine army, and while most of it wasn't painted, and I kind of fell out of love with the hobby as I got older. Possibly due to the expense and physical pain I had to endure while sitting in my parents' garage trying to paint the things, and the other reasons probably because my shiny new Demon Prince got absolutely smashed by the, at the time, new Grey Knights. I'd like to say I was a decent painter, but looking back at the Lord of the Rings magazine subscription models that I painted, I'm not too sure. Anyway, 20 years later, here I am to have another bite of the cherry. So what is the plan, and why now? Well, I recently got back into Warhammer 40k, in part due to a small man crush on Henry Cavill, and predating this was getting into the Horus Heresy novels, which I picked up to help pass the time at work. Anyone who knows 40k knows that Horus is kind of like the prodigal son turned to the dark side, but before this, him and his legion, the Lunar Wolves, were described as absolute badasses. So I really want to make a pre-heresy army with Horus, still a good guy, at its head. So that's the goal, to at least buy and paint a top-notch Horus miniature in Lunar Wolf colours, and if that goes well, I'll move on to the Mournival, maybe an actual army, but let's not get too carried away. The challenge, other than trying to paint this stuff, is can I do it for net zero cost? As anyone in the hobby knows, the miniatures are expensive to buy and paint, and like all of us at the moment, I don't have the cash to simply buy everything at once. Equally, if the hobby can pay for itself, all the better, right? To this end, I have 3 miniatures to practice on, 2 of which I will try to sell on eBay once they are completed. That's assuming this doesn't end in a huge disaster. The third is my D&D character, which I don't plan to sell because my DM will not be very happy.
Heresy grows from idleness.
Let's introduce you to the boys. First up, we have Merrick Whitehall. Merrick is a gnome wizard, and as you can see, we have flames from a spell being cast, and here's a rough concept picture for what he will look like. I plan to deepen some of the colours and try to use the paints I have on hand, so this is a rough guide, but yeah, wishing I picked an elf now, as the model would be bigger. I'll use less paint, I suppose. Model 2 is a lovely Primaris Space Marine, gifted to me with my recent purchase from the Warhammer shop. He's still a bit rough in some areas, so I'll need to tidy him up before I start painting. Equally, I've not decided what chapter colours I'll be using yet. Don't think I have the paint to do it, so this may cost me more money. Ultramarines, Dark Angels, or Imperial Fists might be easiest, as I can use some of the new contrast paints, and those are popular armies, so it should be easier to sell. That's my theory anyway. And my final model is a relic recovered from my original days as a heretic. The former leader of my army, my Demon Prince. You can see this is an old school metal model that I bought extra wings for. He used to look something like this, but I'd applied the paint so thickly that despite the fact I thought it looked really good, it really didn't. So I've stripped it back with some nail varnish remover, partly melted the wings, which I'm hoping I can still salvage, and used some green stuff to blend and fill any joints or gaps. I'm hoping this will be a real earner, due to the fact it's an old style model, and I plan to give it a custom base with some lava and really go to town on it. What I need to calculate now is my costs so far, as the paints I used to have dried up long ago, and apart from a single detail brush and some files, not a lot survived. This meant I had to go out and buy new paints, brushes and equipment. I'll put a breakdown on the screen there of the items I bought. This has come to an initial investment of about £240, give or take, which is about $297 for any Americans out there. Luckily, my 3 starter models I already had, so I got them free. And with that, we've basically come to the end of the video. The next step will be priming the miniatures. Ah, that's so easy and simple, just slap some spray paint on them, you say. Yes and no. Having watched a good few hours of painting tips and tutorials, I have opted for what I'm going to call a modified slap chop painting method that utilises a zenithal priming. The logic of which I'll go into in my next video. Any of you who paint your own models will already know what those techniques are, but it's all new stuff to me. This is going to be interesting. I've been Tim from Gameplay Casts. Peace out and thanks for watching.